bother promoting it all that much because here it is, season 4 for The Witcher. Not looking good so far when it comes to the reviews.
For all the positive reviews, well, you've got IGN, that's never a good sign, and as Critical Drinker says, they can't exactly be trusted when The Penguin got a 5, The Witcher got a 7, and The Marvels got an 8. It basically looks like their score goes up the more girl power a series has.
Siri.
Although they did give Willow a 9, so there are times when they absolutely knock it out of the park.
Promote this thing until a month before it came out. They knew that switching from like Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth, as downhill as the franchise has gone, everybody knew that even they knew it'd be shit. Were we expecting this? Witcher Season 4 is sitting at 17% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And I mean, look, the critics are pretty so-so on it as well. Some critics have been lambasting it. But overwhelmingly, the fan base who has had an opportunity to watch it has wholeheartedly rejected this thing.
When The Witcher Season 4 finally hit Netflix, no one expected it to implode this fast. Within just 48 hours, what was once Netflix's most promising fantasy series had turned into a full-blown internet meltdown. Ratings crashed, fans revolted, and the entire franchise suddenly looked like it was hanging by a thread. So what actually happened? How did one of Netflix's biggest productions spiral into chaos almost overnight?
That starting point is not good for this show, and we knew that Season 4 was going to be a disaster. We knew why Henry Cavill left. We knew because they had desecrated the lore and like everything that people love from the books, from the games. That's not what this TV show is about.
Now, there are some reviews which did like this series, such as Variety. Specifically, this article from Aramide Tenibu. Look, the pronunciation went a lot better than last time. I think the strangest of the positives is CBR, though. Liam Hemsworth Geralt silences the haters. What, you mean like the critics? Do you mean the professional top critics? They've been silenced, yes. Probably because they left and didn't finish the series. They're not watching any more of this tripe. That's why they don't need to talk about it anymore. This season of The Witcher is make or break for...
To find the answer, we have to go back to the moment everything started to fall apart, when Henry Cavill walked away from the role that made him a global icon. Because that decision didn't just end an era, it triggered a chain reaction that would destroy The Witcher from the inside out. But no one, not even Netflix, realized just how deep the cracks already were. Henry Cavill's departure from The Witcher wasn't just another casting announcement. It was an earthquake in modern fandom. Cavill wasn't a typical Hollywood star playing a fantasy hero. He was a fan first. He'd read all the books, completed every Witcher game, and openly defended the source material in interviews. For many viewers, he wasn't playing Geralt of Rivia. He was Geralt. So when he suddenly announced he was stepping away from the role after Season 3, the internet went into meltdown.
I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can't.
We knew that Witcher Season 4 was going to be a monumental disaster years ago when they announced that Henry Cavill was leaving the show to be replaced by Liam Hemsworth. And let's face it, the show was already dead and buried in the dirt because of the actions of the showrunner and the writers and the people at Netflix that control the show.
Officially, Netflix wished him well and thanked him for his commitment to the series. But unofficially, rumors began to swirl. Some claimed creative tensions had reached a breaking point. Reports suggested that Cavill clashed with writers who, according to insiders, didn't respect the lore. Fans pointed to interviews where Cavill subtly hinted that the show's direction was drifting too far from Sapkowski's original tone. At the same time, other reports painted a more nuanced picture, that Cavill was also juggling massive new opportunities, including his long-rumored return as Superman and the early stages of his dream project, Warhammer 40K. Maybe it wasn't rebellion, maybe it was exhaustion, but the damage was done. The fandom felt betrayed, not by Cavill, but by Netflix. To them, He represented the heart and authenticity of the series, and his exit symbolized everything wrong with modern adaptations.
Henry Cavill warned everybody. Henry Cavill argued with them. Henry Cavill made it very clear that he was not happy with how they portrayed his character and the entire universe within The Witcher because it went against the books and it went against the games. They were not following the lore, and he knew what fans wanted. That's why he fucking left. So we knew years ago that this was going to be a nightmare. But that nightmare is very, very close to a reality now for Netflix.
I have always looked at fan reactions, whether they be fully supportive or negative or aggressive or whatever they may be, as passion. Fans are just passionate. I'm a fan.
Where studio executives think they know better than the fans who made the franchise thrive. Social media erupted. Hashtags like No Cavill, No Witcher, and Respect the Lore trended for days. Petitions demanded Netflix reverse the decision, even though Cavill himself had confirmed it was final. Fan-made edits flooded YouTube, compiling Cavill's best Witcher moments set to melancholic music, as if mourning the death of something bigger than just a character. And then came the announcement that stunned everyone. Liam Hemsworth would be stepping in as the new Geralt, a choice that immediately split the fandom down the middle. For some, it was a chance to move forward. For others, it felt like the beginning of the end. What no one realized then, not Netflix, not the writers, not even Cavill, was that this decision wouldn't just change the series, it would ignite one of the biggest fan versus studio battles in streaming history. Liam Hemsworth, a name known from the Hunger Games and Hollywood royalty, stepped into the armor next. On paper, it sounded promising. He had the look, the physicality, and the fan base. But the moment Netflix announced it, the internet exploded. Fans didn't just question the decision, they rejected it outright. Comment sections filled with skepticism and mockery. Memes of Cavill side by side with Liam went viral, comparing their intensity and charisma. Many felt Liam couldn't capture the same gruff, stoic energy that made Cavill's Geralt iconic. Still, Netflix seemed confident. They believed controversy would spark curiosity, that even angry fans would tune in just to see what went wrong. But as filming began, reports claimed production was plagued with tension. Liam was allegedly frustrated with rushed scripts and endless reshoots. And Netflix's belief that any attention is good attention, they couldn't have been more wrong. When The Witcher Season 4 premiered, it was chaos from the first hour. Fans flooded social media with clips mocking awkward dialogue and uneven visual effects. The show that once looked like a blockbuster now felt like a rushed spin-off. Within 24 hours, it had one of the lowest Rotten Tomatoes scores in Netflix history, sinking below 20%.
Critics described it as soulless, tonally confused, and painfully corporate. But the real damage came from fans. YouTube reactions, TikTok memes, and Reddit threads tore apart every frame of the show. And yet, just when people thought it couldn't get worse, Netflix made a decision that stunned everyone. They pulled the plug. Within 48 hours of release, The Witcher was officially canceled. No renewal, no soft reboot, just silence. For a franchise that once rivaled Game of Thrones, the collapse felt unreal. Fans couldn't believe how fast it happened. The cancellation itself became a meme. The Witcher lasted shorter than a trending TikTok. Cast members stayed quiet. No statements, no heartfelt goodbyes. That silence only fueled speculation. Some claimed Netflix was embarrassed. Others suggested the actors were under NDAs after an ugly internal fallout. Whatever the truth was, one thing became clear. The curtain had dropped for good. And then one person finally broke that silence. Liam Hemsworth. When Netflix finally confirmed the cancellation of The Witcher Season 4, most of the cast stayed silent. No statements, no public outrage. Just a digital void. But then, almost out of nowhere, Liam Hemsworth broke the silence. And what he said sent shockwaves through social media. On a quiet Sunday morning, he posted a short, cryptic message on Instagram. Some of us gave everything. Some just gave up. That single sentence changed everything. Fans were stunned. It wasn't the kind of polished PR response people expected. It sounded raw, frustrated, and personal. Within minutes, screenshots flooded X, formerly Twitter. People dissected every word. Who had given up? Was he calling out Netflix executives for abandoning the project, or was it aimed at the creative team? Maybe even the writers who had reportedly clashed with him over direction. Speculation spiraled fast. Entertainment blogs picked up the post within an hour, with headlines like, "Liam Hemsworth's mysterious message sparks Witcher feud rumors." Some insiders claimed Netflix wasn't happy about it either. One entertainment reporter alleged that executives viewed Liam's post as unprofessional, especially since contract clauses often restrict public criticism. Within 24 hours, the post was gone, deleted. But by then, it was too late. The internet had already immortalized it. Shortly after, a video snippet surfaced from an old press junket interview Liam had done months before release. In it, he'd said, "I grew up watching my brother take on huge franchises. You learn that no matter what, fans want authenticity. They can tell when the people behind the project care." At the time, it was brushed off as casual conversation, but now fans were replaying it like a hidden message, a sign that Liam already saw what was coming. Rumors suggest the filming process had taken a heavy toll on him. One anonymous crew member described Liam as quietly frustrated but never unkind. Another claimed that he was often the last person on set, staying to rehearse fight scenes and retake emotional moments because he didn't want to phone it in. But those efforts, according to leaks, were constantly undermined by chaotic production schedules and constant rewrites. Insiders say the final straw came during post-production. Netflix executives, under pressure to meet quarterly targets, reportedly cut several scenes Liam felt were essential to Geralt's story arc, moments that would have shown his emotional depth and justified his version of the character. When the show finally dropped and Backlash erupted, Liam was devastated. It wasn't just criticism, it was humiliation. His cryptic post, then, wasn't just an outburst, it was a breaking point. Months of effort, fatigue, and silence finally boiling over. But here's the cruel twist. Instead of sympathy, the internet turned against him almost instantly. Comment sections filled with mockery. Tweets accused him of playing the victim. Some even suggested he'd posted the message to dodge responsibility. The same fans who once begged Netflix to respect the franchise now seemed to enjoy watching it burn. And Liam became the face of that fire. But beneath all the noise, there was something undeniably human about his reaction. A man who tried to honor an impossible role, crushed between fan expectations and corporate demands. Because if the leaks are true, Liam wasn't angry at the audience. He was angry at a system that set him up to fail.
The sad part? He never got to explain his side. Netflix moved on, the internet found a new controversy, and his moment of honesty was buried under memes and headlines. But that single message, some of us gave everything, some just gave up, still lingers as the most haunting line of the entire Witcher saga. It was more than frustration. It was a confession. Almost overnight, the narrative flipped. Fans accused Liam of shifting blame instead of owning up to a poor performance. Old interview clips resurfaced of Henry Cavill passionately defending the source material, while Liam's early promotional comments, where he admitted he wasn't a big gamer, got dragged back into circulation. Online forums branded him the imposter Geralt. Others claimed his post was a meltdown from a star who couldn't handle the pressure. Even mainstream outlets ran headlines like, "Liam Hemsworth can't escape Cavill's shadow." The hate was brutal. But beneath all that chaos, something darker started to emerge. Rumors from inside the production hinted that Liam might not have been the problem at all. Just when the outrage was starting to die down, something unexpected happened, and it flipped the entire story on its head. Anonymous crew members began speaking out, and what they revealed was worse than anyone imagined. According to leaked emails and behind-the-scenes accounts that began circulating online, The Witcher Season 4 wasn't doomed by Liam Hemsworth's performance at all. It was a production built on chaos from the very first day of filming. One alleged insider claimed that even before Cavill left, the writing team was split into factions. Some writers were die-hard fans of the books, trying to preserve Andrzej Sapkowski's dark, grounded tone. Others, reportedly encouraged by Netflix executives, pushed for something lighter, more like The Boys or The Mandalorian. The result was a script that didn't know what it wanted to be. Every rewrite made things worse. Characters changed motivation mid-scene, and tone swung wildly between gritty realism and awkward comedy. According to another report, the budget looked massive on paper, but much of it was swallowed by mismanagement. Sets were built, scrapped, and rebuilt again after creative disagreements. Costumes were designed 3 times. The visual effects team allegedly received final cut footage just weeks before release, forcing them to finish CGI shots under impossible deadlines. That explains why fans spotted so many unfinished moments on screen, from inconsistent monster designs to glitchy action sequences.
And then came the part that changed how fans viewed Liam Hemsworth entirely. Several crew members claimed Liam was trying to fix things. One described him as professional and focused, often volunteering for script readings after hours to find emotional continuity. Another said he was stuck in a creative tug-of-war, too respectful to speak out publicly, but clearly frustrated by the revolving door of directors and writers. Rumors suggest Liam even approached Netflix leadership to ask for additional post-production time, arguing that rushing release would destroy the show's reputation. But the higher-ups reportedly refused, saying the streaming schedule was already locked. The algorithm demanded it. Think about that. One of the world's biggest fantasy franchises reduced to a corporate checkbox. What should have been a triumphant relaunch became a case study in what happens when creativity collides with corporate deadlines. Even fans who had mocked Liam started to see things differently. Threads on Reddit began to shift tone, with comments like, "If these leaks are true, Liam never had a chance." The narrative was slowly reversing, from "Liam ruined the show" to "Netflix ruined Liam's shot at redemption." And that's when the story took on a deeper meaning. Because this wasn't just about The Witcher anymore. It was about how modern streaming culture burns through stories and people at lightning speed. Actors get blamed for bad writing, writers get blamed for corporate decisions, and by the time the truth comes out, the audience has already moved on. In the end, those leaks didn't save The Witcher 4. Nothing could. But they did change the conversation. Liam Hemsworth wasn't the villain anymore. He was another casualty of a broken system that values content over craft, deadlines over direction, and clicks over care. And by the time the dust settled, fans weren't just angry, they were disillusioned. Because The Witcher 4 didn't just mark the end of a franchise, it marked the moment people realized that even fantasy worlds can't survive corporate reality. After the smoke cleared, the damage was done. Liam's reputation took a major hit, with some studios reportedly putting upcoming projects on pause. Meanwhile, Henry Cavill's career skyrocketed. His new Warhammer adaptation became the talk of the industry, a story of redemption for the actor who walked away at the perfect time. In the entertainment world, The Witcher 4 is already being studied as a cautionary tale, not about bad acting or fan entitlement, but about what happens when corporations ignore their audience. Passion turned into product, legacy replaced by algorithms. And maybe that's the real tragedy here, because in streaming, success can fade overnight. But failure? Failure sticks around forever. So, what do you think? Was Liam Hemsworth unfairly blamed for something that was doomed from the start? Or did Netflix simply underestimate how much fans loved Henry Cavill's version of Geralt? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like and subscribe, because the next story might just be even wilder than this one.